Prosecutors released new diary entries they say were handwritten by Luigi Mangione. In them, Mangione allegedly writes out a plot to shoot UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Now, one of those notes reading that the victim, quote, had it coming. That's according to investigators. So let's bring in CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano, who's covered this case from the beginning. Good to see you, my friend. So what did investigators uncover in this diary? What else?
Well, Vlad, this is the first time that we see from the prosecution those pages, handwritten pages that they say they recovered in this diary when Luigi Mangione was arrested. The dates that they're showing us go back to August. Back then in August, he was already allegedly writing about UHC, about UnitedHealthcare, writing things like, I'm glad I procrastinated to learn more about UHC, and very damning lines such as, I don't feel any doubt about whether it's right or justified. There's also some very what the prosecutors will point to as the motivation, but very clear lines where he writes reflections comparing the difference between a hit on an individual versus something like what Ted Kaczynski did, talking about the difference between terrorism where innocent people are killed. So there's just very specific writings that could speak to a motive, to premeditation, to what was on his mind. And something that I found very eerie is that there are things like predictions about what the news headlines will read. There is literally a line that says, the point is made in the news headline, and there's a quote, insurance CEO killed at annual investors conference. We're talking about months before the killing. Exactly.
Wow. Which
to me, of course, having covered it and thinking about our own headlines is something that's just very eerie.
It's not unusual. A lot of people throughout the course of modern American history who have assassinated or murdered individuals who are famous or high profile
Right.
have imagined, and they've uncovered
Right.
writings of them imagining the coverage. They want to be famous. That's part of that.
Yeah.
So the defense is saying that this evidence should be thrown out. What is the basis for that, and how likely is it?
That's very important because, of course, you can imagine a jury hearing all of this and police or prosecutors pointing out this was recovered in his person. And also, by the way, there was a note that was addressed to the feds that seems to have been written after the killing, where there are lines like, I wasn't working with anyone and it had to be done. What the defense is saying is that his Miranda rights were not read to him, that his possessions, that his backpack was searched without a warrant while he was already handcuffed and surrounded by police. So they're saying that his Fourth and Fifth Amendment were violated. That's how they're trying to toss this evidence. Of course, the prosecution is pushing back, given the amount of just handwritten notes that they're saying were allegedly written by Mangione himself.
Wow. All right, Lilia, thank you very much as always, my friend.
Thank you.
Good to see you.